Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for being here once again. My name is Liliana and today I will be showing you guys how to make delicious tostadas de tinga. Let me show you the ingredients. And for this recipe, you guys are going to be needing tortillas. I like to make my own tostadas. You could buy them. That's just my personal preference. You're also going to need chicken. This is about 2.5 pounds. You're also are gonna be needing Chipotle Peppers. I like this brand, is my favorite. You'll also be needing Consomate. You will also be needing salt, onions. These are for whenever you get ready to start grilling the onions to put them in the salsa. I'll show you guys once we get there. You'll also need about 1/4 of onion and 2 garlic cloves. You'll also be needing lettuce, also crema, sour cream. I like the crema mexicana from Michoacana. I think it's really good. You will also need Queso Fresco. This is queso fud. I get this at Michoacana. It's really good. Also, for your salsa, you are going to need tomato, garlic clove, Serrano Peppers, and onion and vegetable oil, and of course a blender so you can blend the salsa for the chipotle chicken and also for the salsa that you're going to use for your tostadas. Seven cups of this is just like a regular coffee cup of water for the amount of chicken I'm gonna boil. And then I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of salt. Just put it in there. And I've been letting my water simmer for about 10 minutes. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of Consomate and a half. So it's 1.5 tablespoons of Consomate. I know it might seem like I'm putting a lot of salt in the water, but in order for your chicken to get the flavor, you have to make sure that your water is salty. Okay, so now that it's boiling and I've put the Consomate and the salt in, I'll add the chicken. Just put it in there. I'm also going to add the piece of onion, which is this much. Put it in there, and 2 garlic cloves. And then you're just gonna let this boil and let it cook for about 30 minutes. Okay, so now I'm gonna start putting everything into simmer for my salsa, just to get that out the way. So I'm gonna put the tomato in, garlic clove, piece of onion, which is this much, and I am going to put 5 serranos in there. And you're just gonna let those boil for about 15 minutes on low heat. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how I like to fry my tostada. So this is a tortilla. You're literally just gonna place it down. And you see how it's already kind of bubbling up? That means it's gonna start getting toasty. So you wanna make sure that you kind of hold it down, because if you don't hold it down, the tostadas are gonna kind of shape like a taco. So just keep holding it. It does take a while, but I mean, if you want something to taste good, you gotta spend time on it. And then you could just flip it every, I want to say maybe 30 seconds. Make sure that it doesn't fold, like I said, because if it does fold, that means that it's going to kind of go like a taco, and you don't want that. You kind of want to make a tostada, which is a flat tortilla. Okay, so this is the tostada that I just made. I'm gonna go ahead and place it in a bowl with napkins at the bottom, just so it can drain all the excess oil out of the tostadas. Okay, so while everything's simmering, I'm just gonna go ahead and get my ingredients ready. I'm gonna show you guys how I like to chop my lettuce. I like to chop it really fine just because I like lettuce, but I feel like if you do it too thick, it tastes better on the tostadas when you do it thin. So, you know, just give it a chop. Make sure it's thin. And the thick pieces that, you know, kind of sometimes you can't get cut, just go over them and I'm gonna show you guys how I like to crumble my queso fresco. I just kind of grab it and go like this with the forks. It's easier and it's not as messy, because if you do it with your hands, it gets pretty sticky. So I recommend that you just hold it with the fork and you just start crumbling it. Okay, so now I'm gonna put everything in my blender. I'm gonna put the tomato, the serranos, the onion. Make sure you get every piece of onion, and my garlic clove. Okay, so I did put about a cup of water as well in the blender, and then for this salsa I'm gonna put a half a cup of vegetable oil, and I am also going to add 2 tablespoons of Consomate. And now we are just going to blend. Okay, so you let it blend, and then I'm gonna go ahead and show you how the salsa should look like. So this is my version of kind of like a red salsa. Might look green on camera, but it's red. See? Okay, so the chicken is still boiling. It's been boiling for about 35 minutes. I know it's ready, but I'm gonna show you guys how to know when your chicken's ready. So once you grab the chicken and you see that it's easy for like the chicken to start coming off, then that's how you know it's ready. I don't know if you guys can catch it on camera. Okay, so the chicken did simmer for about 35 minutes. Quick tip, if you either work or you're needing to get this recipe done faster, you could just cut the chicken in half, and that will also make the cooking time less. So maybe instead of taking 35 minutes, it'll probably take like 20. So you just shred it. You just start shredding it to get it ready to cook for your tinga. Okay, so I'm gonna get about a cup of the broth from the chicken, because this one has all the flavor, and this is what you want to use to cook your tinga. So that wasn't a whole cup, so it's just 1 cup of this one, okay? And then you gotta make sure that you get the onion and the garlic clove from the broth. Okay, so I have literally a cup of the broth and the garlic clove, also the onion that was used for you to cook your chicken. I'm not gonna add any salt to this broth, and I'm gonna add to my tinga just because I'm not sure if it's gonna be too salty. I am gonna add salt on the chicken, but I'll show you guys once I get there. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how many chipotle peppers I'm gonna put in there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do 7, just because we like it spicy. And I am just going to blend. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the onions in. And I do have my pan in about medium-low heat. You don't want it too high because then your onions are going to burn. So just put it on medium heat. Okay, so now that my onion is cooking, once like it does touch the oil. Oh, and I also wanted to mention, I did put 3 tablespoons of cooking oil because I did have some girls ask me, which makes me so happy to know that y'all are actually making my recipes. And y'all really don't know what to do with cooking, so y'all asked me how much oil, and I did put 3 tablespoons of oil for this amount of onion and also for the amount of chicken I'm going to add in, because you kind of want the chicken to fry with the onions as well. So now that the onion is cooking, I'm going to just sprinkle. You don't put a lot of salt, you just sprinkle. I'm not sure if the camera could catch it, but don't add a lot of salt, just add as you go. So right now I'm just adding some to help the onions cook faster, as well as them getting flavor. So you just kind of let them simmer for about 5 minutes. Okay, so now that the onions have been simmering for about 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken, because I want it to kind of cook in the oil as well to give it flavor. So I'm kind of going to mix it with the onions. And I'm also going to add another sprinkle of salt. You always have to remember to season every layer, because if you season every layer, I guarantee that your food is going to come out bomb. Just don't over salt it. Add as you go. If you're like just learning, add as you go. So then you're just going to sprinkle some salt as well. Just keep mixing it and you're going to let it simmer. Okay, so now I am going to add my chipotle sauce. The chicken has been cooking with the onions for about 6 minutes. I tasted the chicken for salt and it's good. It's bomb. Okay, so now I am going to add the chipotle sauce. You're going to add all of it. And you're just going to mix it in like so. For the amount of chicken I'm making, the sauce I added is perfect. I don't like my Tinga liquidy, I guess you could say. I kind of like it to be chunky and a little saucy, but not too saucy. Because if not, when you're adding it to your tostadas, it's going to kind of make them like soggy, and I don't like that. Okay, so remember I told you guys not to add any salt to the broth whenever you were blending it with the chipotle peppers. I'm gonna let it simmer for about 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna try to see if it needs salt, and if it does, I'm going to add a little bit of Consomate, not salt. Okay, so the Tinga has been simmering for about 5 to 7 minutes. It is already kind of bubbling. So I did taste it for flavor. It's good, but I want to add just a little bit more seasoning. So I am only going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of Consomate, just because I don't want to over salt it, but I want it to have just a little bit of more flavor. So you're just going to kind of just sprinkle it on there, and that should do it. And do you see, guys, how the Tinga is not running at all? It's saucy. It's perfect at the color. It's not over saucy. Just looks bomb already. So you're just gonna let it simmer for about 5 more minutes, and then your Tinga will be done. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you guys how I like to prep my tostadas de Tinga. So I'll grab a tostada. I'll put crema. I like to put my crema at the bottom because I feel like when you take that bite, you'll get the crema in every single bite. So you know I smear all the crema. And then I'll put some Tinga. I don't like to overload mine. Some people do. Like my gordo, he likes to put too much Tinga on it. I kind of like to, you know, just eat it in the middle. Not too much. And then I'll put some lettuce. I don't like a lot of lettuce either. And then I'll add some Queso Fresco. Oh, you can miss. then I'll do that. And then lastly, I'll add the salsa. Okay, and this is what your tostada should be looking like. Fire. I wanted to put avocado on it, but the avocados at the grocery store I went to, they didn't have any good ones, so I couldn't. But if you put avocado on top of these tostadas, even better. So I have a special guest who's gonna do the taste test for me.
Well, since my dad wasn't here, aka Mikey Lahim Gay, I'm gonna do this taste test.
Tell me the truth.
Bomb. It's bomb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope you guys see my next video. Bye.